Hi friends, today we are going to talk about how can we help the Palestinians against the Israeli aggression. We are simple people, we don't have weapons, and today it's not time that we can wage weapons against the invaders. We can do a lot through the social media, and we can help Palestinians through a peaceful methodologies as well. There's some points to be noticed that we can help Palestinians. At first, we should boycott the Israeli products. There is a famous trend going on that BDS boycott the Israeli products, famous with the BDS, so we should support that. And in those countries where the Israeli product is available, you should boycott them. You shouldn't buy them, you shouldn't export them, you shouldn't import them, you shouldn't use them completely. That is one way. The second thing is that we should have online charities for the Palestinians too, that they can treat the injured ones, or they can help the orphans and the widows, and etc. Third thing is that all the Islamic countries, all the countries who stands with Israel, they should end their diplomatic ties with Israel, and they shouldn't have any diplomatic relations with Israel. And another point is that if it is possible, actually nowadays all the countries, they have a treaty that they allow the airspace to all the airplanes. They have a treaty with all countries, I think. But if Islamic countries, especially those surrounding Israel, if they don't allow their airspace to the Israeli aircrafts, whether it's be commercial or it is military and everything, they should block their airspace to the Israeli airplanes. And also they should ban their airspace to those planes heading to Israel or taking off from Israel or landing in Israel. They should all be cancelled, or they should be allowed to go there, because Israel is surrounded from three sides through Islamic countries. Now they need to have courage, they need to have some zeal or something to stand against Israel. And especially the second point that I told you about BDS, that is the most important one. Look, in Islamic countries, Egypt and Turkey and some other countries, they have a very huge trade with Israel, in billions, I think in billions. So if they stop trading with Israel, there will be a big blow to Israelis. That is something. And at the last, I will say that we Muslims, we should have an Islamic bloc who stands for the Muslims in Burma, Myanmar, for the Muslims in Palestine, for the Muslims in Afghanistan, and for the Muslims in Iraq, and for the Muslims everywhere in the world. They are suffering. We need a bloc. We need a treaty between and among the Islamic countries, that they should stand for the Muslim world. They should be the voice of the Muslim world. And it's been the conspiracy of the non-Muslims that they have created so much differences among the Muslims. Look, Bangladesh and Pakistan, they're both Muslims, and they're both Sunni Muslims, but they have too much hatred among them. Afghanistan and Pakistan, they're both Sunni Muslims, but there is too much hatred between them. Look, about Iran and Saudi Arabia, they have too much differences. Look, when there was attack going on in Gaza, some Islamic countries even, they didn't stand with the Palestinians. It's shame. That's a very big shame. In the Middle East, we have two blocks, Saudi-led bloc and Iran-led bloc. Now we should finish, eliminate, and end these blocks, these partial blocks, these sectarian blocks. We should stand together, no problem where we belong and what is our sect. We are Sunni, we are Shia, Deobandi, Salafi, Wahhabi, nothing. These are not important things. The important thing is that a single Muslim shouldn't be killed cruelly. Yeah, if a Muslim is wrongdoer, if a Muslim is criminal, he should be punished. But if Israel says that someone is criminal, he cannot be criminal, because Israel is itself criminal. Israel is a terrorist state. Look at the 1948 borders. Look at the 1967 borders. Day by day, they're merging the Palestinian land into Israel. So that is something very barbaric, and that is something very bad. And today there is hypocrisy in the world, that everybody in the world, especially in the West, they ask the citizens of the West that not to say any slogans related to anti-Semitism, but nobody talks about the Prophet of Islam being blasphemed. There are people, they make the cartoons of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, but nobody talks. If somebody talks against those cartoonists, they say that you have gone against the freedom of speech. But if somebody says anti-Semitic words, so he is taken into custody. If somebody speaks against LGBT, he is taken into custody. But nobody talks if somebody makes a cartoon of the Prophet, peace be upon him. So that is double standard, and this double standard needs to get end. Otherwise, there will be no peace in the world. You are peace-loving people. We don't want to make any violence. We say that problems should get solved through negotiations, through discussions, not through power or through violence or through other activities. That's all, and stay blessed.